Hello, welcome to Paul's Mental Health Diaries. It's episode 1. Today I got with me Karlos, who's going to be my guest, and Dion will be doing the recording for us. I'm Paul. Say hi, Kalos.
Hi, Carlos. I'm Carlos, and Dion sat in front of us, scoffing a pasta salad. So, why have you brought me onto your podcast today, Paul? What do you want to talk about?
Well, you say you want an open discussion of mental health. This is going to be my first episode of Paul's Mental Health Diaries. I really wanted it to be my podcast shows to be of where I can put my entries, my thoughts, and into the outside world.
So I think I've known you now for coming up for 2 years, Paul. And ever since I've known you, you've been a huge advocate of like positive mental health and stuff. What got you on that journey of sort of mental health thoughts?
Well, I would say in my early 20s I dealt with mental health.
Personally?
Yeah. I had suffered with depression quite a lot. Big story into it really, but I won't go that deep into it. But I did have counselling, and I thought, well, halfway through into the counselling, I thought, well, why it would actually be really good to see whether if I can help people out the same way my counsellor did with me. And thought I would have needed big skills to do it because I didn't get much skills in school or college. So I thought, well, I would have needed big skills to do counselling. But further down life, I just found out I didn't really just needed personal experience. So went down to the counselling road, tried to do it, got so far into my level 4, and couldn't really complete the level 4 in the end because family life and home life.
But you do work in that industry.
I do work in mental health, yeah.
And does that feel good when you're able to help people through difficult times?
I've always liked to help people. It's rewarding, yeah.
And I suppose this is why you've wanted to create your mental health diaries too, isn't it? To continue helping people in different ways.
Yeah. But because there's one main thing what I wanted to talk about tonight. Counselling, it was person-centred. Now I like the way it was person-centred. It was client-led. I like that way, but I wanted to help more people in a personal way. And I'd like to dive more into the mental health of why they were struggling with depression or of what happened. Really dive into it, because client-led, you have to let them answer the questions, let them really open up. But if someone doesn't want to talk for the whole hour, then you're stuck as a counsellor, because that's what the teacher used to say. You're stuck because you can't really say, "Come on, talk." But if a person doesn't want to talk as well,
there must be tricks of the trade to kind of help getting them to open up and stuff, though.
There is, but you just got it's open questioning.
You've got to use open questions and positivity and stuff. Perhaps.
Yeah.
Interesting. Okay. So let's go back to the podcast then. So this is obviously your pilot episode, and I suppose now would be a good time to start trying to figure out what the future episodes might look like. So have you had any thoughts on that yet, or are you still an open book on that matter?
I am an open book, but there's a few things I want to try, as in diving more into counselling and more into mental health issues like stigma around it, depression and schizophrenia and all that types of.
So have you thought about any other guests that you might be interested in bringing onto your podcast?
No, not yet.
Well, thinking about what you want to talk about. So if you want to talk about some really sort of heavy subjects like that, it'd be good to see if you could get a specialist.
Yeah.
And we obviously know a specialist, don't we? Because we're in a round table with Annika, who's a psychologist.
Yeah.
So he might be interesting to bring on and have a chat to, especially when you're talking about things like schizophrenia and mental health. That'd be really interesting. I'd be interested to listen to that episode.
Okay.
But I suppose, when it comes to your podcasts, it might be an evolution thing. So you might decide today that you want to do X, Y, and Z, but you might go home tonight and go, actually, I'd be much more interested to do something different and take it in a different direction. So you might want to also kind of like keep it flexible and keep it open.
Yeah, I'd like to do that.
Yeah. So what happened with your TikTok? You were on TikTok recently, right? Why did that stop?
Well, I started TikTok, maybe March this year. We're in September now. And, well, I felt the confidence to start it up. Had a bit of a gap because my mum passed away in April. And then, because I didn't really keep going with it, it just felt natural to stop. And then had no motivation to just carry on. And I've tried to do it again, but
did you manage to get a small following on TikTok? Was it starting to grow?
I've got a little bit of a following, but not like a lot. How
many have you got?
130.
It's a start.
It is a start.
It's more than I've got following me on TikTok. Yeah, you always got to start somewhere.
Yeah.
And you know what?
Started this year,
if out of 130 people you help one person, would it make it worthwhile?
Of course.
Right. So that's the way you got to look at these things sometimes. And you know, your mental health must have taken a knock with your mum passing away. I mean, what self-care did you practice to look after your own mental health?
See, with me personally, I don't do self-care.
No?
No, unless I'm too busy at home life to just focus on my own self-care. Mainly music I listen to. That's the only
It's slightly ironic, isn't it, really? You know, you talk about you wanting to go out and help people with mental health, but then, you know, when you take a knock yourself, you know, you kind of you haven't got anything in place to look after yourself and fall back on. Might be
spending time with the kids, though. I mean, you know, that can distract you in a way. Spending time with the kids, and that can be self-care.
Is distraction good though?
Yeah, in some way, but it can't. See, with grief, I always felt the need I always felt that it just comes back whenever you do not expect it.
Yeah, and have you experienced that?
Yeah, a lot.
Oh, right, okay.
It can always just like that come back. You know, my mum's gone. Then I'll be thinking about it for an hour. You know, it's just it's that reminder of. Shit, she's gone. You know.
Trauma is a weird one.
Or I'll be looking at my phone messages I'll be scrolling down what messages I've got, and I felt, there's my mum. Message, that last message she sent me is, you know, it's just reminders like that.
Oh man,
yeah.
I can imagine it. When you go to upgrade your device and stuff too, you'll be like, I don't want to lose my old messages, right?
I've actually not done that this week.
Yeah.
And it's all gone.
Has it?
Yeah.
Oh gosh, how do you feel about that?
I don't know. I can't really to be like, is it relief? I won't have a reminder, but I will have the reminder because it's just natural to have a reminder.
Yeah.
But the device won't be reminding me in a way. I know in my head what last message he sent me, so
yeah, of course you do.
So it's not going to be a forgetting thing in a way.
I suppose trauma might be a really interesting episode that you could actually focus in on, couldn't you? Know? And again, you know, we've got friends that definitely suffered trauma before. Right? I'm not going to name them on the podcast, but they might be interested to come and talk to you. Definitely.
Can go in one of my traumas as well.
Well, it's natural, isn't it? You know? And I think about my own journey with mental health, and actually, ironically, I had a breakdown, but my breakdown was almost like the start of my life. Like I lived quite an insulated life where I was quite shallow and short-sighted and nasty to people, and I had a bit of a breakdown because I was incredibly lonely. I ended up joining an organisation called Round Table, I don't know, like 7 or 8 years ago. And when I came out of my breakdown, I was a completely different person. I was more warm to people, and I was more open to put myself out there and talk about my vulnerabilities. but it almost broke me, yeah. And I'm not saying I was thinking about suicide or anything like that, because I genuinely wasn't. But I cut out all of my family from my life, moved away from them. I almost broke up with my long-term relationship because I just didn't see the point. I didn't see the point in continuing with it. It didn't seem like it was going anywhere. And I was just only focusing on the negatives. And I didn't see it at the time, but it was over COVID, and it was because I was so isolated. So my job was around working with people and developing connections and having that sort of relationship with people as a relationship manager. And COVID came along, and that whole thing just ended, and it was all just in front of a computer screen. So my whole life changed, and I became incredibly isolated, and that caused me to be really depressed and lonely and really quite sad in my whole existence. And yeah, that changed my whole life, but I came out of it in the end, and it was 2 or 3 year recovery sort of thing. It wasn't overnight. I came out in the end, and I was a completely different person. And I look back on it all the time as almost like a blessing and a curse. It was horrible and a hard time, and it was a complete mental breakdown for me. But actually, it's developed me into the person I am today, and I'm really thankful for that.
You're saying Roundtable helped you?
Roundtable was one of the elements that helped me. It wasn't the only thing. So I started cycling loads, and the exercise definitely helped as well. I got a personal trainer in the gym to help me actually feel more positive about my own body and how I looked. I started doing some of the sports that I really loved, so I started kite surfing more, and that comes with a community, as does Roundtable. So Roundtable was one element of lots of things that improved my life, and I didn't know it at the time, didn't know that's what I needed. I saw a post on Facebook and I was like, oh man, that looks really interesting, I want to go out paddleboarding with people.
100%, that's how I would feel with Roundtable as well.
Yeah.
But we met from Andy's Man Club.
We did meet in Andy's Man Club, yeah.
And that, I would say Andy's Man Club was a starting step from my mental health to get better. Because I joined Andy's Man Club 2 years now. We've known each other for 2 years, yeah.
Yeah, so you must have joined a little bit before we met.
Yeah. How long were you at Andy's Man Club?
I only went for 1 or 2 sessions.
Did you?
I didn't go for many,
yeah. Well, I enjoyed Andy's Man Club. It just was I have a good rant there, wasn't it?
But do you know what I see with things like Andy's Man Club? And Roundtable's exactly the same, and Rotary and Lions. Yeah, it provides you a sense of community, right? It provides you with something that you recognise, people that you feel safe around and comfortable around, and somewhere where you can just go and open up and talk. And Roundtable, to an extent, does exactly the same thing, but it just provides you activities too and gets you out of the house. And it's a little less structured than Andy's Man Club, but at the same time, it's a little bit more. It's a bit more empowering. So Andy's Man Club is really good for people who absolutely need someone to kind of like encourage them to talk about their feelings and help them kind of express themselves in a vulnerable way. Whereas Roundtable's a bit more like, right, now you've kind of got that off your plate, let's go make some friends, let's learn some skills, and let's get out of the house a bit more, And I think both elements are super important in people's lives, and they're quite different, but they're also
very different.
But they're also they kind of serve the same purpose, don't they?
Yeah.
They give you community, they give you friendship, they give you a space where you can go and express yourself safely, in whatever sort of expression that is.
Yeah. And no judgments, no.
And I think modern day society generally misses that out of a lot of men's lives.
Yeah, 100%.
And I wonder why. I wonder if that's the reason why many young men these days often, fall victim to suicide, because we've created a society where it's like you go to work, you work 9 to 5, and you come home and you're tired, you've got to eat, but because you're tired, you generally eat bad food and ultra processed food, and then you fall to sleep and repeat again the next day, and you got no real meaningful friendships anymore, nothing you can feel proud about, no real community, no safe space to go and vent and talk about, the issues that you're having at home or the issues you're having at work. You're just kind of expected to kind of like man up almost to a degree and just get it done, earn the bread and bring it back. So that's why I see like things like Andy's Man Club, Roundtable, Lions, Rotary as a real sort of crucial space for mental health for people. But I'm not a professional in it. You're the counsellor, so I mean, what do you think?
Andy's Man Club is a good place to have your little rant and have your little, to get out the feelings that, that your mental health is just not being able to, you're not be able to cope with. Round table is, I always thought, is a place where you can just let go. If you are having a social, just let go of what you're feeling, and you can be mates with anyone and just have no judgments. Just let go of what you at home.
You can almost be like a professional dickhead on table, can't you? And it's almost celebrated because you're around other people. Just want to do the same thing. I suppose, full disclosure, Paul and I are both members of Round Table, and Paul, you're a big advocate of Andy's Man Club, and I never spent as much time there as you did. But, great organisations, both of them. So I suppose anybody listening, and if you're a guy and you're interested in getting support, Andy's Man Club's great, and if you're a guy and you're interested in getting some new friends and learning new skills, Round Table's fantastic too. But that's my take on the matter. And I wonder what else you could talk about on your podcast. Any thoughts?
I've always liked the idea of music into mental health. Why it's, for me personally, I've always felt a good sing along gets rid of my mental health. Just gone. Boom.
So that's more listening to music rather than playing music.
Yeah. Because I could never play music.
I do love a sing-song around a campfire. Someone busts out a guitar and they start smashing out some of the classics, the Oasis and stuff.
Yeah. You'd
always kind of leave a little bit. Oh, God, that was a really good night.
But as in watching, I like watching films that can really dive into mental health as well. And I would like to talk about films that really give a good story about mental health.
Yeah.
There's one I really like at the moment called Thunderbolts, and that was really good. That went really well.
DC film, yeah.
With a mental health problem.
Has he got a mental health problem?
No, it was, I forget his name now. This was I watched it a couple of months ago, so my memory's a bit rubbish on the film now, but I remember the story.
Which character?
It was the villain. It was a dark side, and that would be his mental health problem.
Oh, I see.
And they sort of had to all group together, the superheroes, had to all group together to make him okay in a way.
Yeah.
He ended up being on their team in a way. So it was, I can't remember the name. Yeah, we'll come to
You're going to make me want to go back and watch it. I'm going to go home and watch Thunderbolts. It was good. I remember watching it. It was a good film. Yeah, it was a really good film. Okay.
There's others like Patch Adams. Have you ever remember that? Robin Williams. Robin Williams is one of my favourite actors.
He's brilliant, isn't he?
Yeah.
Yeah, he's really good. So, do you think all your episodes, do you think you're going to invite like a guest speaker on to all of them? Yeah, is that the plan?
I would like to.
Make it more fluid, wouldn't it? More conversational based.
Depends if we can get on, but
yeah, definitely. But, okay, well, I'm not sure what else we can talk about on the pilot, to be honest with you. So, Paul, give me some advice for myself if I wanted to practice some self-care. What can I do if I'm starting to feel a little bit sad, or what's the sort of process for people these days?
Well, the best way for me, I've always thought is to change perspective. Self-care is always really good to do. It's always hard sometimes though for people to just motivate themselves to just have that self-care, to go into that, to do that for themselves. They always think, dive into someone else's time. I do.
What do you mean about change perspective? What do you mean by that?
Well, I've always thought mental health is, I'm struggling in a bit of a way to be like describing it properly, because I'm tough with my words sometimes. I don't know.
You don't know.
Properly, stop that. I'm trying to think properly. I don't.
Okay, Paul. Coming from somebody that's had a bit of a breakdown before, what advice would you give to the younger version of me that's starting to feel like I need to practice a bit of self-care?
Well, I would say is to talk more. If it was having a breakdown, like you said, you had a really bad breakdown. And did you have anyone that helped you? You had people that helped you at the time?
No, I didn't really. I had my brother, and I did talk to him a little bit, but I didn't really feel like I wanted to talk to anybody. And, well, yeah, I was in a weird mindset. Like I said earlier, I isolated myself, so I cut my family out of the picture. I almost broke up with my partner. Didn't really have any friends. All my work colleagues were now remote, so I didn't actually have a chance to talk to them face to face. So I was really quite isolated.
Yeah, when people are like that, they tend to isolate themselves and feel alone. But what you've got to realise is that you're not alone, and that's why talking is better. It can help, because as you say, once you realised you got yourself into community, you felt as if you can break free.
And ironically, once I actually started to find community, whether it's through round table, or kite surfing, or cycling, I didn't actually feel the need to talk about my mental health at all. But because I didn't feel the need to talk about it, naturally I did talk about it. It felt comfortable. It felt like a really safe subject to bring up again. So yeah, I can see why talking about it, is really important. But it probably took me about 6 to 12 months to get to that point where I was comfortable talking about mental health. So I'm not. Yeah. So apart from talking about it more, what can you do also in those early stages of sort of self-care?
There's always hydrate a lot, drink a lot of water. Keep yourself busy, exercise, do what you really like, listening to music, gaming, even if you like that, watching a film. There's always stuff like that. Okay.
And what about like diet? Like,
yeah,
does it play a big part or a small part? Or?
It can play a big part.
Yeah.
But I felt diet's hard. Diets are hard.
I don't mean like to diet to lose weight. I mean like generally what you're eating. If you're feeling really bad and low, is it okay to continue just eating takeaways every day, or should you try?
No, try and eat more positively. Yeah, not to eat more takeaways and more positively and healthier. Yeah. Because that's giving more self-care than any, to just eat more colourful. Yeah.
Okay, what about alcohol?
It can depend of what your access is like.
Okay.
Of what you want to take. And me personally, not a thing for me. No.
Yeah, I haven't drunk properly for ages now. I say properly, I mean I haven't drunk to get drunk for a long time. I think people are less interested in drinking to get drunk these days. I don't know.
Yeah.
You see that?
Yeah, I see that.
You go on a Friday and Saturday night, obviously there's plenty of people out willing to get drunk, but it's quite dead in the week. Like Monday to Friday. Pubs are dead, aren't they? I wonder.
I think that type of business is going down now, as in restaurants. It's not. You really have to, and they're charging a lot now.
So you think cost is a big issue? I think it probably is too. Yeah. I'd much rather spend my money on a holiday once or twice a year than go to the pub once or twice a week.
And people just like to stay in now and then, chill out, be cozy.
Yeah. We've got more facilities at home to enjoy the home than we did beforehand. Before the age of Netflix and YouTube, everyone just could go to the pub, couldn't they, to get their sort of endorphins, dopamine fix.
Yeah.
Dopamine fix. So, yeah, that's interesting. Okay. Any other sort of quick tips on self-care before we sort of perhaps close this off?
No.
No?
Can't really think of any right now.
Okay, well I'm sure perhaps new things will come up in future episodes. If you want to be part of that, contact us on. Thank you.
If you want to be part of the podcast, you can contact us on hello@paulsmentalhealthdiaries.co.uk. Let me just check if Dion's nodding at me to see if I got that right. And I'm on TikTok as well. If you message me on there, I'm on Facebook and I'm on Instagram. Yeah? Dion, nod with me, okay. Yep. Just contact us on there. Thank you.